last season, I wasn't able to make it. So I wasn't able to make on some of these teams my ads. So I'm hoping this year I'll be more efficient.
Because that was too much, like 140.
Yeah. It's challenging though. It's good.
Someone's not in yet, but he's the first pick anyway. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get, Jokic. I'm not sure if he's gonna surprise us. All right, guys. Welcome to the Fantasy Benchwarmers Champions League. Majority of the players or managers here are from the leagues last year. They were the top 4 or the top 3 of last year's leagues. And then we invited some friends. We have Grant, who was supporting us through some sponsorships with some of the DFS leagues that we created. And of course, JC Jasso, who is currently in Houston. Right? You're in Houston, right?
Yeah. I'm in Houston. Born and raised here, so I love it here, man. I won't go anywhere else. This is my hometown right here.
That's nice. So JC is also an administrator of another group, Facebook group. Later, we'll ask him to share about that as well, so that you can also join that group. And he is currently picking now. Not sure if he's gonna surprise us. So for the guys here, just a formality, please do not mention any players' name that have not been drafted. And that's the only rule, basically. So second pick, I've asked Eric to join us if he can.
Well, you can't go wrong with this one.
Why did you come up with James Harden pick? Is it because of their situation in Brooklyn?
Well, JJT, he played for my team for about maybe 5-7 years. So even though he wanted to leave us, I still have a love for him.
All right. Really, that's surprising considering that the way he left.
Well, he had good reasons. I mean, we hired a new general manager and a new owner came into town, and to me, the owner seems a little cheap. He wanted to cut costs everywhere, so he traded the whole front office, the whole team. Yeah. He traded everybody to try to pay them a little bit less than what people deserve. So I would have been mad too if I was Harden. Trade me.
Yeah, but the way he left actually was quite different from those who were mad with their teams. So that surprised me that you're still a good Harden fan.
Yeah. I'll always be a Harden fan. I just have a feeling he's going to come back and maybe end his career over here. He owes us a championship like LeBron James. So.
Hey, what do we call you, JC or Juan Carlos?
You can call me JC, man. That's what people know me by. So JC's the popular name around here.
I got family in Houston. I love that place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I live in the southeast of Houston. So what part of?
I actually don't. Poplar Springs, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Spring. You guys are up north of Houston, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I got family. Jeremy, I was just thinking, I'm not surprised they've got Harden fans. He gave them a lot of really good years, right? So that's all you can ask from a player, right?
True.
Right. Where's Eric? I was looking forward to meeting Eric.
He might join in a little late because he's taking care of the baby. Okay. It's quite noisy in their place, so I think he's joining in a little bit late.
All right, let's see.
Haven't had a Durant team yet, so let's see how this goes. So in all your leagues, JC, you're the commissioner?
Yeah, that's right. I'm the commissioner. I run all 100 leagues.
How'd you do
So
it?
I started off in 2015 with League Safe,
Uh-huh.
and my first year with the payouts was in 2016, the following year. So I started off with $10 leagues, really low buy-ins, so
Yeah.
GMs could join. You know, I don't really think people mind too much if they gamble $10. It's a lot easier to get GMs that way. So the following year, I did about 26 leagues, and then from there, I did 148, and then 125, and this season I'm doing 120. So
Leagues.
20 leagues, 100 leagues.
Is that a
So,
full-time job?
oh yeah.
I could imagine.
I stay in my house. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so my wife has a full-time job. She's the
You
one
got to
that
tell us your craziest fight in fantasy, like a trade that you may have vetoed, or someone who obvious maybe was colluding with someone else. You got to share with us some of your. You must have seen some crazy ones.
like some trades. Usually, if a trade keeps getting vetoed in one of my leagues, some GMs get really, really mad,
Yeah.
and they start harassing my other GMs, and they start saying the commissioner sucks, and you get a lot of negativity whenever vetoes happen, and the one way how I decided to stop all the harassment and stuff like that towards me and my GMs was to just allow my group page to vote on the trade. So
Mm.
sometimes in a league, you have the same 4 people who veto every single trade, no matter what,
Yeah.
even if it's fair.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's tough, man.
yeah, that's when I want to go straight to my fantasy group and just get them to vote. And once they vote and reverse a trade, I let them know in my message boards, and they're okay with it. They can't go against 1,500 people.
Yeah. That's going to be that's always been a challenge. I mean, trades being vetoed all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, here in the Philippines, the league safe leagues are not allowed.
Yeah, you guys have a tough deal trying to make leagues over there.
Yeah.
League safe, it's only for USA residents, and for Canadians,
Yeah.
you gotta have a bank with the USA in order to join League Safe. So if you don't have an address, a USA address or a bank, all my GMs that are international GMs, they got to go through PayPal. So whenever they go through PayPal, it's a lot easier for them to join that way. And yeah, so I get a combination of international GMs along with us players in the United States.
Oh, so you can still do it via PayPal.
Yeah, you can do a PayPal. And GMs trust my PayPal system because I just tell them to look at my history with LeagueSafe. It's paid out 100% for every league that I've done, and everybody always gets paid, and I have a 100% payout rating. So 264 leagues. Next season it's going to be 364 leagues. So I'm hoping that with that resume, more GMs join. So
Crazy
we'll
number
see.
of leagues you have there.
Yeah. You definitely got to be a stay-at-home parent or person. If you want to have this many leagues, you got to give up your part-time job or your full-time job.
In all those leagues, do you have cut or the commissioner, or do you get paid as well for all those leagues?
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Whenever you go through Yahoo Pro Leagues and you pay directly through their website, for a lot of the US residents, everybody that joins through there, they actually take a fee from the cut. They take one pay entry away, for their purposes. But in my leagues, I don't take a cut. If I get 12 GMs and they put in $100, the payout's going to be 1,200.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of GMs, they like to keep a one paid entry, but I don't do that. It just doesn't attract GMs, more that way. So I do it for fun, man. I do it for the love of the game. I don't like taking away everybody's money like that.
Respect, man. That's 300 plus leagues is crazy number.
Yeah.
We're managing like 10 leagues, and it's already a crazy amount of time that we spend as well.
Yeah. You got to get used to it, man. You got to have a fast brain, and you got to be able to move fast.
Yeah.
Think fast.
Yeah. All right. Going back to the draft, we are at round 2. Nothing too surprising, I guess. The first round went as usual with the players, the top 14 players that has been usually drafted. And the second round so far, nothing surprising. What's your take on Houston's team right now?
Ooh. I think we're going to be playing for that tournament to get in the play-in tournament for the,
for the
final,
playoffs.
Yeah, for that final spot. And,
so you think you won't tank this year?
No more tanking. Our general manager already let us know that we're not going that route this year, that we're going to be competing. So I believe in Raphael Stone whenever he tells us something like that. So
all right.
I think we got a good backcourt, man. We got the future backcourt of the league, and if we could just
good group of young players.
Yeah, you know what? And two years from now, we're gonna have the money to spend on a superstar and maybe get 2 max players along with our young talents. So
maybe get Harden back.
Yeah, we're gonna make a lot of noise. The following season's coming up. If it's not this year, I'm excited about Jalen Green. So
yeah,
we'll
Jalen Green's half Filipino, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. He's representing you guys, so
yeah.
I like that. He has a little bit of that in him. Let's see, man, it's really hard to pair up James Harden with someone that you got to pick 27th in the second round. So let me see, what do I want to do here? What's available? Wow.
So we are at the 27th pick. JC picked Devin Booker. And I think this one is Luigi. Who's picking
drafted
now.
by someone called Run and Gun Sons. Sons fan.
Well, Harden and Booker would be running and gunning, I'm sure.
Let's see.
Grant, what's your thought process of picking Giannis and Michael Porter Jr.?
I kind of got cornered. I was hoping any one of the top four would fall. I was targeting Cat. I knew Harden, Steph, and Jokic were almost automatic, but they got Cat. So Giannis, I thought would be great value. It's an MPJ at that position. I thought it was the best value there. Actually, the three guys I kind of wanted, Gobert, Lavine, all came just a few picks before MPJ.
Yeah.
I wanted to pair any one of those guys with Giannis, but MPJ, young guy. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
So what do you think about MPJ not getting vaccinated? He's going to cost you a few games, like when he goes to New York or San Francisco, and you just never know. Is that going to happen during the fantasy playoffs? That's kind of something you got to watch out for.
Yeah, you're right. That's yeah.
But
I don't know why they just don't listen to the science.
Yeah, what do you think, JJT?
Well, I think the couple of games maybe won't hurt too much, I guess.
I think MPJ could play in those road games because I think the status of road players different from
Oh yeah,
from
yeah,
the
that's
home
what I heard
players.
as well.
I think that's what I heard.
There's
I'm
a
not
different
sure.
rules for players from the road team.
Yes.
So I think if he goes to those cities, he'll be able to play.
But if he gets COVID,
He has a
that's,
longer quarantine period.
Ayton, I think JC got Ayton. What's my pick? I'm coming up. Have to think again.
I think with since he's not vaccinated, I think he's going to miss out on 14 days. But if he was vaccinated, he only has to quarantine for 7 days.
7, yes.
So that's a big difference too.
I think that would hurt more than going to New York or San Francisco. I think that would hurt more because he probably would be able to play in New York. But that 14 days would be big because that's what 5, 6, 7 games out. So
yeah.
So Eric's up next with Carl Anthony Towns and Shea.
We have one GM that's auto drafting, huh?
Is there?
Max. We got one GM that's auto drafting.
Wait, I lost my connection. Yeah, Max is auto drafting. Well, Eric's favorite, the Aaron Fox.
Ooh, he's going to be a good one. I don't know if he's going to be better than.
I'm just gonna go all in with my boy.
I don't know if he's going to be better than Morant, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Ja will have a better season this year than last year. But I guess I like Fox for the steals. And I hope his free throw really improves this year.
Have they played another game? Not yet, right?
Not yet. But it's interesting where the 3 top ranked players left will go. Westbrook, Zion, and Kyrie. JJT, what's your team looking like? I think you got Durant.
I got Durant and tried to pair him with Gobert. So I wanted a big. Not sure if that's gonna be good, but let's see the few picks.
There, JJT's turn. Charles Anthony Edwards. Good pick.
Carl's favorite is your Anthony Edwards, one of your favorites this year. You've been picking him for, I think the Champions League. You also picked the Invitationals.
Yeah. Kasi he will. I don't think he'll be coming back to me next round. So I have to pick him.
That's true.
Durable kasi. That's my projection on him. He'll be durable. And Minnesota has a good playoff schedule.
What's her? I didn't check. What's her playoffs for this league? Can I ask that? Or
We end
We end a couple of weeks. Wait,
sorry.
I think we have
March
all
27. March
Yeah.
27.
so that's 20 to 22. Week 20 to 22, right?
yeah, that's right.
So this league will end earlier than the other league.
The other league later ba?
Yeah,
we-
21 to 23.
Okay,
I announced
a
that.
week later.
A week later, yeah.
So the playoffs start in week 20, you say?
Yeah, week 20. Week 20 to 22. Do you take that into consideration when you draft, JC?
Well, definitely. I actually started all my playoffs and but you know what's crazy? Last year I did the last week. I
Yeah.
think it was I started my playoffs in the very last week and on all my leagues, and I think that was a little too crazy. That's the last time I'm ever gonna do that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that experience at all. Usually I was like, oh, I want to play longer. I think my GMs want to play longer too. But it actually killed a lot of us. So I actually decided to take Josh Lloyd's recommendation and just started in week 19. So
So Josh suggested it to be week 19. Week 19
Right.
to 21. Okay.
right. So I'm like, well, if Josh says that, I'm gonna go with the popular, choice. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty
We-
sure a lot of GMs like that advice from him. So I'm not gonna argue with
We
Josh.
also had our playoffs towards the last week until the last week of the league. And well, like you said, it was crazy, but somehow it was also exciting for those who in the finals because that gives
The Cameron Paynes and the KJ Martins, the Kyrie Thomas, Armoni Brooks. Hey, those are Houston guys. The Houston guys carried us to the finals. Carried us in the
Yeah.
final.
Yeah, you see, that's one thing you don't want to do is you don't want those guys carrying you in the finals. you want to stick to the real people, the real players that are going to produce, not just win off of luck, off of the free agent wire like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's JJT's turn right now. How is his team looking? Let us see. Rudy Gobert, Kevin Durant, and Jaylen Brown. So might be going for a guard here.
What's Kamisha's team's name?
Red Mamba.
Oh, okay. I
That's
gotta keep a close eye on him.
Why?
Because he's the
That's me, by the way.
Me? Is it me?
You're
Looking for my team?
No,
Eric.
my team. My team.
Eric's team. Is Red Mamba.
Okay.
Yeah, Red Mamba. In honor of Kobe.
Yes, I like that.
I think the bigs are gonna take an.
Started with Kevin Durant. Now, like I said, normally wouldn't start with Kevin Durant in that position, so maybe that myself is a bit of a different position if I was available.
So you think Kyrie would get to play this year?
Kyrie is, oh man, he's big problems to own every year on a yearly basis.
But personally,
I would like to trade him.
well,
I wouldn't even draft him at all. Not even in the 6th round, 7th round, 8th round. I'm just not wasting a pick on that.
he said he'll retire if he gets
Yeah,
traded.
yeah, that's too
crazy.
many problems. I don't know what his deal is, but I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant and James Harden's not too happy about that. I feel like he's gonna get traded. So we'll see.
Yeah, the guy who picked Mex is auto drafting, but he has a solid team. If Kyrie plays, this is a good team. Bradley Beal, Butler, Kyrie, and Holmes.
It's a balanced team.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually whenever they have a auto draft, that auto draft team, that's the guy that takes Kyrie. So,
But he took Kyrie very late already, like the
42nd pick. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think
he got good value. He got the good value on that, if you want to say that.
He's lucky that Yahoo updated today.
Yes, that's true. Yahoo updated today.
Yeah, because usually Kyrie's, I think, number
Higher.
14 or higher.
Boy.
The John T. I think the John T will have a
good year.
I just hope he shot more threes. I hope he shot more threes. That's just my concern with him. But solid.
He should be.
Gets
There's no one
rebounds for a
else.
point guard.
There's no one else in that team.
Usually since he doesn't shoot threes, if I already have other guys that shoot threes, I really don't mind.
Yes, that's true.
That's the way you got to build your roster if you do want to take him. You got to make sure you surround him with shooters. Come here, buddy. I got my baby right here.
You gotta
Not
teach
yet
him how to
sleeping.
draft.
Oh no, it's morning.
Yeah. He just woke up. It's 9 in the morning over here, so
Okay.
yeah, we're just getting off out of bed. Let me see here.
We'll be trying that soon. Drafting in the morning. This Sunday we'll have a draft at 9 a.m. also.
Well, what time is it for you guys right now?
It's
10:30 p.m. 10:30 p.m.
night.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what to think about DeRozan, but I needed a small forward, and I think he was the best available.
Oh man, second time it happened. Oh.
So make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you are subscribed, hit the notification bell so when you have notification going into the season, there's more videos. And good luck with your events drafts. Later, guys. See ya.
Is it only 3 of us that showed up to the video? JJT.
Charles has a video. Eric's here. Grant's here, and then Carlo is here. Carlo, hi Carlo.
Oh, okay. I had to make my box bigger.
Yeah, but only 3 of us have the video turned on.
Sorry, I can't turn on my video right now. Wait.
If Rosier and Bogdanovich.
There. I think JC, nawala si JC.
Nawala siya, baka naputol. At least di na natin kailangan
English.
Lost JC.
Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah. So we are at pick 66 with Naveen. Kuha ni Naveen si OG kala ko abot sa akin.
Oo nga.
Nanahan mo nga ako sa kay Gobert Bad trip ka talaga.
Actually, nainis ako. As in, one pick before, nakapila na sa akin si JJJ eh. Sakto, one pick before. Oh.
Ang problema ko, hindi rin ako maka-queue kasi makikita nyo lahat nung nasa queue.
Hindi, manual queue ka na lang. Pero ako naka-queue talaga yun. Sabi ko, please, wag lang JJJ. Sakto yung lumabas. Oh.
Yan na, JC is back. Tilo is picked by Naveen. Naveen was one of the champions. Of course, Charles was the other one, and Rondell, Comp Gods is the other one. Yeah, Grant, you were saying.
Yeah. Actually, may nag-auto-draft ba yung kay Kyrie?
Yung Mex. Naka-auto-draft siya eh.
Ah, okay.
He didn't see the messages.
But his team is
quite solid. I mean, if Kyrie plays, right?
He won't play, pare.
Okay,
I mean, you could tell from it's almost like a pride thing, di ba? He stakes his identity on it eh. That's why
Yeah, you could tell by the way they're preparing for him not to play really. So
even Steve Nash is already publicly saying it.
Yeah.
So
how's it going, Eric? There you go. I could see you now.
Yes. I opened it because the baby's sleeping already. So
okay.
I can open it. Open the light.
Yeah, it's fun to get to meet you, man. I want to say hello to you.
Yes.
I know
Hi.
I feel like you like to hide too much. You don't really like to show up.
No, I just late because I had to make the baby sleep.
Yeah, it's 10:30 over there, so we're on opposite
Yeah.
schedule.
Yes. So your baby's waking up. My baby's just
Yeah.
falling asleep.
All right.
This is actually the one of the first few drafts where I see Darius Garland drop to what, 72?
I think the hype on Garland has kind of
Died down a bit.
died down a little bit. Yeah.
He's usually being
Yeah,
picked
I
higher
think
than D'Angelo Russell. Now he was picked lower. Yeah, you
I
were
think
saying
he's gonna
this.
struggle, like with low percentages, field goal percentages. I don't have too much faith in him, but he could be solid. He could be. He could prove people wrong. I'm not really too sure what to think about him, but my gut feeling tells me to just draft him in 2 leagues out of 100. So
Yeah.
I'll take him in
Out
2
of-
leagues.
Out of those 100 leagues, I'm pretty sure you've owned a lot of players. And do you watch games? I mean, do you
You-
watch games of your players?
Wait, did I hear it right? You have 100 leagues?
Yes, 140.
100
Yes.
okay.
I have 100 leagues this year. And last year I had 148.
Wow.
And the previous before that was 148, 192, and 125, and this year 100. So that's my past 4 years with League Safe. How many leagues I have? It's pretty fun though. I mean, you gotta love fantasy basketball to be that dedicated.
Yeah.
You know, my previous job before I was able to manage all these teams, I actually got laid off in 2016. So I actually had a full-time job for about maybe the same job for 7 years. I work for a tree company in the safety department. So I handle a lot of OSHA statistics like incident rates. You know, whenever an employee gets injured at the job site, you know, you got to report your injury numbers to OSHA per company and keep track of their loss days and restriction days away from work. And
You were doing that.
yeah, I was doing safety. My job title was safety, data gathering and analytical support. So I did a lot of gathering with analytics and keeping track of a lot of statistics for the company. So they gave me access to this website called Intellex. It's a Canadian website that they use to keep track of analytics with our tool purchasing. Like we used to sell chainsaws to our managers from the field, where we used to give them, you know, climbing rope, PPE gear.
Yeah.
And that system, Intellex, we tracked a lot of our cost per hour.
But
so we did a lot of
during those
reports.
during those times, were you already playing fantasy?
Yeah, but only like
A
maybe
few
10.
leagues.
Yeah, just a few leagues. But when I got laid off, that's whenever I decided to get a lot of teams and just spend my time with fantasy basketball, and it went really well for me the first year. So I was able to make a little bit of profit money off of my winnings and do it again the next season for 2017. So as soon as I started, you know, my platinum status, that's my level. I'm a platinum player in Yahoo.
Yeah.
So as long as you're borderline in between platinum and diamond, any GM could be profitable and making money, in my opinion. You know, maybe you're not gonna win a lot of your leagues because you guys always win your leagues. Eric's too good; he beats everybody. But
It's not true.
but if like GMs like learn from your leagues and see who you guys add, and then they join Yahoo Pro leagues, it benefits them because they get to see the commissioner's ads and drops on a daily basis. So it helps them with improve and win.
Yeah.
So yeah. There you go.
So now you're a professional fantasy GM.
Yeah. So like I said, man, if you're a platinum player or if you're a diamond player, I really believe in those players. And I think if they join more than 10 leagues, I think they'll finish first, second, or third. If they invest $100 in 10 leagues, all they got to do is finish first place in one league and they already make their money back.
Yeah.
So, I was able to do that easily.
How do you get paid in there? Through Yahoo? Yahoo.
No, we get paid through League Safe. So
okay.
it's either League Safe or for international GMs who can't go through League Safe, they get paid through PayPal. So I got to withdraw the money from League Safe. And since I can't deposit to their account directly, I deposit it to my bank account and then I transfer them through PayPal. So the funds go from LeagueSafe to my account to the international GM's account. So that's how the fund transfers work.
So for you to, let's wait for JC to get his pick first.
Oh, I got Marcus Smart. I didn't even know that. Okay. Yeah, I must.
Was he on top of your queue?
No, he wasn't on my queue at all. I think I must have missed my last pick. I didn't even notice. But this works.
Oh, you got it before I was gonna get it again.
Yeah, that works.
That's the second time that happened already.
So for you to earn in league, as a professional league fantasy manager, you have to win how many leagues? Couple, one or two? It's
What's
like
your question, Jay?
If you like you are in 100 leagues, right? How do you earn there? Like you have to win how many leagues before you could, somehow say that I've made good money here?
Oh,
is it a winner
okay.
take all thing?
No. Actually, third place gets double whatever they invested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I know most leagues they do just their money back, but I don't like doing just the money back. I like for third place to actually get double whatever they invest, just because they actually put in work in their team. So I actually want them to feel rewarded, or like they won something. So for first place, it's a pretty good percentage. I think I have it like at 56% for first place for the total pot, and then the second place gets about maybe 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good percentage. Like in my $150 league, first place gets 1,000, second place gets 500, and third place gets 300.
That's $150 league.
Yeah, $150 league. First gets 1,000, and then
Wow.
second gets 500, and then 300 for third place.
But it's not easy to get there. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Well, it's easy if you have, like I said, if you have 10 teams, because the chances of you landing first, second, or third are pretty good if you're a platinum or a diamond player. And I think I'll take my chances. I mean, if you're a rookie or a bronze member, we like to call them, or silver or gold member, and if you're just starting off, with your first year, I would just recommend to buy, like if you want to play for money, just do low buy-ins, like invest $100 and get 10 teams for $10 each. That's how I did it. And whenever I did that, I was able to see how good I really was in structuring my fantasy basketball teams. So I was just really good and calculating, which stats are going to be available,
Yeah.
throughout the rounds, like seventh round, or like I know what's going to be available in the ninth round from now. So
Yeah.
you just kind of you got to be able to predict really good.
Yeah, but yeah,
And,
and having that many leagues also helps a lot when you draft. Like you see trends when you draft, right?
yeah, I actually know, when the guys are going to go off board and stuff like that. So it kind of helps too whenever you do a lot of drafts. And one thing about my teams is I don't like to use the same combinations on all my teams. Um,
You try different players.
yeah, and different players. Like if I have the number 2 pick, I'm not gonna take Harden all the time. I'll
Yeah.
take Curry, half of the time, or Harden. You got to mix it up, because if you have an injury, you don't want that injury to affect
Yep.
all your teams.
Yep. That's true.
You can lose all your money by doing that strategy. So I just like to mix it up. And after week 1, I see which teams are, in 9th place or 10th place. And I really try to focus on the waiver wire on those teams first. So I have a priority on which teams to focus on. So I put them in my big whiteboard on my rankings. I have all my 100 teams, and after week 1, I'll put the worst team at the very top, and that's the first league I enter in the free agent wire every day, and just focus on the bad teams first.
So you have a
Yeah,
system in place on how you manage all those teams.
Yeah, you gotta have a system in place. So that system really helps me out a lot. So you just got to be smart on which teams to focus on first, week after week, so that all your teams make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So last year, 70% of my teams made the playoffs out of all my teams.
Wow.
Yeah, 70.
But how active are the managers? Are all the managers very active? Like even if the buy-ins are like $10, are they really active? Or some of them just after a few bad weeks they'll just let it go?
Yeah, you definitely have those in all the leagues, or at least in all my leagues. GMs, they give up right away, like after week 2 or week 3, whenever they see their team like in the 12th seed.
Yeah.
They just don't. They just forfeit their money. So it makes it a lot easier for other GMs to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But GMs always do quit whenever they see their team's not making it. And whenever they quit on some of these leagues, they end up dropping all these good players, like all-stars, and
Really?
they try to ruin the league. And whenever that happens, I just gotta re-add them back to the original, team so that nobody else picks up
Yep.
their player.
So that adds up to the work that you do.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that no one's really
Messing up
ruining
the
the leagues by dropping all their players. Yeah, because a lot of GMs they put their hardworking time into these leagues, and whenever a general manager does that, and it just ruins it for everybody. And as a commissioner, you want to make sure you take care of those things so that GMs could keep joining your leagues. Let me see what you got going here, JJT. What does your team look like? You believe in Jalen Slug, huh?
Yeah, I think he'll do well. I mean, he's not doing well right now in the preseason, but I hope they're gonna play him enough to do well.
Yeah, that's a good team. What do you think about Marcus Smart?
I'm not a big fan, but
He's dropping a lot.
he is, because last year he didn't do well, right? And he hasn't been doing well this year during the preseason as well. So I think that contributes to a lot of his him being dropping in rankings.
Actually, yesterday I also got auto picked, and Marcus Smart was the guy who went to my team.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad, man. He's pretty solid whenever he's healthy. I actually like him. He's a good hustle player. He's gonna give you them steals. He knows how to play basketball. I like him.
I think
like
the challenge with Marcus Smart is that he has a lot of the flaws
Injury
are
problems.
are too obvious. Like the field goal are really bad, the turnovers can be really bad. So that's why some managers stay away from him.
Yeah, I think he'll do better.
The problem with having Marcus Smart is it's hard to trade him.
Yep, that's another thing.
Yeah.
He's not the most marketable player out there when you're the GM, right?
He's solid. I like him.
He's solid. The problem is the field goal, and it was a roto league, so.
Well, good thing I got Aiton to balance out his field goal, right?
Yeah. In head to head, I think you could live with his field goal. So you just have to have the right players, as you said, Aiton, maybe Capella or Gobert, maybe these guys, or just punt field goal.
I don't like punting anything.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like punting.
So you never punt in your leagues, in any of your leagues?
Never. I don't understand why GMs do that. It's not a system that I use.
JJT is also not a fan.
I'm not a big fan of punting, because sometimes you punt too much. Like you didn't realize that you punt a lot of stats already.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like punting at all.
To be honest, I'm not also a good punter, a person who punts, especially in drafts. I don't punt a lot.
Let's ask Charles. Charles, do you punt?
I think it depends how the draft goes. So I think you never go into a draft thinking that you're punting, but depends what player you get.
Yeah.
So if you see good value, then that might change your strategy.
So you go value first.
Yeah, because especially sometimes it's almost impossible to have a totally balanced team.
Yeah.
So it really depends, and you have no control on the other managers who they want to draft. But usually the punting strategy comes in like after the 6th round, 7th round. You'll see what kind of players you're getting.
Like where we're in right now, we're in the 9th round. This is where the 3-point shooters are being picked.
About to be my turn. Hmm.
I'm
Scotty
gonna
Barnes.
reach a little bit. Yeah, I gotta reach. I needed a good small forward.
Actually, I just realized I don't have a small forward at all in my team. But I guess I have to rely on trades.
How do you trade, JC, on your leagues? Like, do you trade a lot?
Not really. I probably only made maybe one trade last year in all my leagues.
Wow,
I
that's
usually
140 teams, just one trade.
Yeah, I don't do trades. I like to win my leagues without trading, because as a commissioner, I feel like if GMs see the commissioner trading, I kind of feel like they kind of feel like that's cheating.
Yeah, I get you. What's
So,
the league? What's the decision making process in your trades? Is it the league votes or the commissioner votes?
oh yeah, it's league votes. I let my GMs handle all the voting. But before it used to be 4 teams, and it's an automatic veto. But
Yeah.
now it's I actually increased that to 5 on all my leagues. I had one general manager who wanted me to increase it to 6 because his trades kept getting vetoed last
Vetoed.
year.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Can you make it a 6?" And I'm like, "Well, I think 5's good enough." But he's like, "Well, I don't think it's good enough. So just make a 6." So I made 2 leagues just for that specific general manager, so that he could join, and maybe he'll get less vetoes.
Yeah.
Has there been disagreements or really fights or arguments that happen in your leagues? And what do you do? All the time.
All the time, yeah. Like on the trades, if they disagree on a trade because it keeps getting vetoed, I post it on my group page, and sometimes I get those trades reversed, as long as my general managers all voted that, hey, that trade should have been fair. Sometimes you get a group of knuckleheads that just like to veto everything just because they don't like
Yes, that's
GMs to trade. So when that happens, a trade gets reversed if the league agrees to it. So I like it. It's a good system that I have in place. So I think it keeps general managers coming back, for more. And I like the way I handled that.
Jeremy got the Andre Hunter. Actually, a very good pick at
We need
121.
at least another solid forward. 'Cause
Well, I need any forward right now. But anyway,
You'll get trade offers from me, guys. You know that.
yeah, sure. I think I need a small forward, so I may try to get LeBron from you.
Actually, this is what Charles was saying a while ago. In my pick, Giannis fell to me, and then LeBron fell to the third round. What can I do? I'm gonna punt free throws.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
So I guess you have to trade Michael Porter Jr. away.
maybe,
Yep,
see.
yep.
maybe.
So,
But one thing's for sure, Grant's always open to trading. So there's no one off limits, I guess.
I once tried putting in a lot of bells and whistles in my trades. Like, I was even putting options. Like, I'm gonna give you this player, and you have the option to trade for another player in the next 2 months. Then the league said, don't make it too complicated. We're gonna be. I don't want to hear it. Just give me.
When I join other leagues that are not my leagues, I trade a lot. So y'all better be careful.
we love that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a lot of trading in this league. I just hope
Nice.
they go through, Commissioner.
There's one player here who traded like 40, I think around 40-30 times last year. Just
Bro,
one.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did he end up in the standings?
He ended up second.
I think Grant would love Promo Lord
Yep.
because he's very active and also creative.
He's very
Yeah, 'cause-
fast. If he sees players underperforming, he'll offer someone already for you. For
Right, I
that
mean,
player.
the season changes, right? And so, and then your views might be different. Your risk tolerance might be different. Someone might get a bit injured. And if I'm high up in the standings, I don't mind falling a couple of places if I'm assured of a playoff spot. I just want to get a star player that comes back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Trey,
Harrell, 132nd.
Jay Crowder,
Felt
twin
I
brother.
needed a little more rebounding here.
Yeah, that's good. Solid. I have to offer Grant to trade right away. Can we offer a trade now?
Let me look at your team, man.
Shea for MPJ.
Ah. Teka lang, pare.
I need a small forward.
I got Caris LeVert.
No.
Eric doesn't like those kind of trades where you're not even sure.
He'll play. He's good. He's been through worse.
Levert for Conley there.
My problem with LeVert is the fractured back. So, I don't know how bad that is. Sounds bad.
And he's not really the type who is who is a very durable player.
That's true.
He's had injuries every year.
Almost, yeah.
Tracy McGrady had to retire because he had back problems. So them back problems are serious injury. I don't trust him if it's back
Yeah.
to go up.
Well, he came back from cancer, so I guess for him,
That's true.
a strong guy. But yeah, it's kind of worrisome. Kind of don't have anybody left here.
I forgot this was a 14 team. I'm thinking it's a 12-team league.
Oh,
No, it's a 14.
No wonder there's not that many good players left.
exactly. It's getting harder, and Grant just got my guy. Really have
Sorry,
to
small
trade.
forward pala pare.
We need someone out. Okay.
Yeah, Will Barton. Not
Yeah.
bad, not bad.
There we go. Need trees. Okay, steals. Okay. Last 2 rounds, guys.
Will Barton. You like Will Barton? You've been
I think Will Barton a little bit slept on because he's had a bad couple of years because of injuries. If he can stay healthy, I think he's gonna have a good year. Especially Jamal is out. They don't have much depth there. They only have, rookies or really bench players at the guard spot.
Is that your first Houston player, JC?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. I don't know why Daniel Tice drops so much in all my leagues, but I trust him so much. I trust him a lot. I don't know why he keeps getting dropped or not even drafted in some of these leagues.
Do you think he's gonna be rested eventually? Is that a possibility? You think
Ooh.
maybe that's one of the reasons why?
I don't think he's going to be rested because we're actually trying to make the playoffs this year. So I think he's going to start off pretty strong. And yeah, I like Daniel. He's every time he played, limited minutes, 20 minutes per game in Boston. I loved what he did fantasy wise. So increasing his production to 28 minutes. Oh wow, I'm really curious to see how that's gonna work. I like his stats. I think he's actually gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot threes, by the way. So
He was actually good a couple of years ago in Boston.
Oh yeah, he knows how to play. He's very undervalued for sure.
But honestly, do you think Houston can make the play-in or the playoffs?
Yeah.
course.
We can.
Of course.
We can. I like my team. I'm not gonna say no. I like them.
Makes sense. I like a lot of your rookies. I like the young core, KPJ.
And this guy that just got drafted by
There, now we can say it. Alperen Sengun. So you got Tace and you got Sengun. You're covered.
Yeah, I'm covered. That's what I needed towards the later rounds. I was really worried about my bigs, but I think I'm pretty covered. That's why I usually like drafting guards first. in the first couple of rounds and try to be stronger at the guards, and then work on my bigs in the later rounds, because I think throughout the free agent wire all season long, it's a lot easier to find bigs than it is to find a good point guard with high value.
Yep.
Or even a small forward. Small forwards are really hard to get to, so that's usually one of my strategies is just get your bigs towards the later rounds like I did. But you definitely got to get at least one good big like I did with Aiton. So
Yeah.
So last pick time.
This is the last pick. We have a couple of rounds left. Oh, yours is the last pick. Caruso's been picked. I thought I could get him.
you guys plan on making more leagues for next season? You guys think you're gonna have more than 10?
We'll see. We'll see how this year goes. We just try to adjust. We didn't intend to have 10 leagues this year. We actually had intended to just have around 5 or 6 leagues, but a lot of managers wanted to join as well, so we just extended the number of leagues to 10. So we'll see what happens next year. It's not as easy as having league safe, for example. We had to collect everything manually, so that's the more challenging part, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I try to share your videos a lot on my page.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like your videos, your daily videos on what's going on around the leagues. And I think Eric, I like what Eric does with his injury analysis. I think Eric knows his injuries really well.
Like a doctor, right?
Yeah, he's definitely a doctor. That's for sure.
No, I just research.
I like his input on all on injuries, and I feel like he could be a doctor, like you said.
I just try to research past injuries, usually the same kind, and see, how long.
It's actually helpful because casual players don't really look into those things.
Doc Eric, what is your prognosis for a stress fracture in the back?
Not good.
What about not getting vaccinated in New York?
That's even worse.
In Brooklyn. Ay. What is the guy thinking?
That's why I was shocked that they said that, Levert can come back the start of the season, possibly. Because those kinds of injuries, usually they take really long time. So, I don't know, maybe it was just a slight fracture.
Yeah, that one's hard to predict right now, but it is keeping managers away, but who knows? I know my back still hurts, and it hasn't gone away in like 10 years.
I guess you could put him in your injured list, so that's why some managers can gamble on him. But back injuries are usually tricky.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
and foot for NBA.
Yes, especially for big guys like Zion. Foot is usually the worst.
Last round, guys. And
I'll break the rule here, but I know no one's gonna pick this guy. I'm thinking if I'm gonna cash in on our bet with Jeremy in this draft. I'm picking Kevin Love. To just get it over with. There's not much players left, so let me think.
Ay, nako.
Naveen's picking.
You think Kyle Lowry's gonna stay healthy, JJT?
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, renewed. There's a new. He's with a new team. I'm pretty sure he will be more excited because last year was really a bad year for them. Like they were tanking, and he really wanted. I think he was expecting to get traded. So I think there's gonna be renewed energy there. Um,
Yeah.
Hard to predict about being healthy and all, but a freak accident can turn things around. But hey, at least he's in a good position right now to to win, and I'm sure he would love to really contribute there.
He seems to be happy in Miami, so
Yeah, I see him dropping a lot in a lot of my leagues, and it's real tempting to pick him, but I'm always passing on him.
I'll do this because Eric told me a while ago.
I know we have TJ Warren. Yeah.
You were saying, JC? Sorry.
Yeah, he's been dropping a lot, so I've been passing on him a lot, but I that's just one of those players where I'm like, I don't think I should be passing on him too much if he's dropping a lot like he normally does on some of these drafts.
Early on, he was dropping to around 70, late
Yeah,
60s.
70.
Now he's moved up a bit to around early 60s because he's been playing well in the preseason, I guess. So
That's just a player I got to watch out for. I think Kyle Lowry's actually going to be good this year.
Charles, how do you like your team?
Porter. Let's see that.
That's so good. I like my invitational team better.
You gotta be kidding me. The two guys on my queue just got drafted back to back. Oh
Nice
man.
one, Import.
Yeah, we have a 1 IL plus.
And one IL. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why, but I went with 3 IL plus on all my leagues and 1 IL. You guys think 3 IL plus is too much?
Yeah.
I think it's too much. Depends on, maybe it's if a shallow league, it's okay.
Is it a 12 team? 14?
Yeah, it's 12 teams, but all my general managers really like the 3 IL plus just because there's a lot of game time decision tags and out
Eric,
tags.
Kevin Love.
It's for you,
Yeah.
JJT.
Yeah. I would have wanted it to be picked in the auction draft.
No, I have to pick him now. I
But
just
going
dropped
back
him
to
right
what
there.
JC was saying about the IL, because having too many ILs for me, I think makes it a lot easier for managers to hoard some players. Right?
Yeah, that's the only bad thing. But you'd be surprised how many players get the game time decision tag
Yeah, actually,
and
there are a
battle
lot.
tag,
Yep.
and that handicaps a lot of the managers. So
Last year, there
I
were a lot.
think
There were a lot. All right, guys, that wraps up the draft for the Champions League. I'd like to thank Charles, who's here, JC, who's here, Grant, and Carlo Miguel, who was here earlier. JC, it was nice, really nice to meet you, and hope you enjoy one of the leagues here we have here.
When can we
Yeah.
pick up free agents, pare?
I think
2 days from
after,
now.
yeah, 2 days
2
from now.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate you guys inviting me to this league. I actually wanted to get in one of your leagues last season, but I guess I was a little too late. But I got in this year, so
Don't worry. Last year
hopefully-
it was the leagues were quite experimental from us because it's the first time we did it. So I think you probably would have a better experience this year, hopefully, with the leagues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is Charles cool? Like your cousin or something? He's real famous, like on all these posts.
He's a big supporter of the group as well, of the podcast as well. So we really appreciate him sharing the podcast to a
Yeah,
lot
for
of
sure.
groups.
Yeah, Charles, keep it up, man. I really like what you're doing over there.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us. Good luck,
Yeah.
everyone.
All right,
Yeah, good
guys.
luck, guys.
I will
Okay,
probably
bye-bye.
chat in the group chat, but thanks for joining, and that wraps up the draft. We'll see you again tomorrow. We have another draft tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye now.